the reason we wanted to start these sessions was to run through the web app, run through some of the things you can do on Pryzm, run through some of the kind of like top Photon strategies, and then really just a kind of basic overview of what is a principal token, what is a yield token, and what is and what are liquidity pools in Pryzm and how do you use them. So we're going to start with that. So I will see if I can share my screen, and then we can get started from there. You can choose assets. So say, for example, you choose Atom here. You can what this means is you can deposit an Atom token, and one Atom token is going to give you one P Atom token and one Y Atom token. So if you deposit your Atom token, you're going to get one of each of these, and that means that the total of these must add up to one atom. So if the price of P atom moves up, then it means Y atom is effectively getting cheaper in atom terms, and if the price of P atom moves down, then the price of Y atom is going up. So you can see here that if you deposit an atom, you can get a P atom that's currently priced at 0.88 atom, which is here, and you get a Y atom which is priced at 0.1 atom. So why are we saying that this is a fixed yield? Basically what this means is if someone came today and they just bought a P atom for 0.88 atom, then they would spend 0.88 atom now, and then at the maturity in 49 days, they're going to receive a token worth 1 atom. So that means that you can look here and you can see that you can just do that swap, and you're going to be able to swap 1 atom for 1.12 P atom. You do it the other way around. So effectively, one atom in, I think we said 49 days, didn't we, is only going to cost you 0.87 of an atom now. So that is, to go back here, that is a return of 13.56%. So we can click this ROI toggle, so return on investment. So what that means is you spend 0.88 atom now, and in 49 days you get 1 atom, which gives you a 13.56% fixed return. And so when we talk about yields, we always need to convert things into annual terms so that you can compare across different maturities. And so here you can see that if you're making 13.56% in 49 days, then that means effectively in a year you're going to make 155 or 156%. That's kind of like your that's kind of why you're talking about these in fixed yield terms. That's one of the questions we get quite a bit from people. So when people start looking at strategies of things that they can do on Pryzm to earn photons, this is our points market campaign, the photons campaign here. What are the strategies you can do to earn photons? We'll just use Atom for an example. So select Atom here. You can provide liquidity with Atom, and you can earn 67.36%. And you're also going to earn incentives, which are 20 photons per dollar per day. Lots of people ask, like, what? And we had a good conversation in Discord about it yesterday. What does it mean when you're saying you're getting 67.36%? It means that you're going to get. It means that you own a share in a liquidity pool. So if I go here and I pick the Atom yield pool, for example, if I deposit some Atom or C Atom into this liquidity pool, then I'm going to own a share of the liquidity pool. And what's in the liquidity pool are these assets here. So inside the liquidity pool, there's 35% C atom, 37% P atom, Deck 24, and 27% P atom, Deck 25. So you know from what we just discussed that if a P atom token is like a fixed yield here, and you can say the internal APR, which is the value of the yield from C atom and P atom, is 71.77%. And the swap fees, every time someone does a trade in the liquidity pool, they pay liquidity providers a fee. And at the moment, that's kind of 2%. So that's why this potentially is a good strategy to earn photons. It's because you own a share of a pool that contains these assets, which are already very high yielding, and you get paid swap fees anytime anyone does a trade in this liquidity pool. And that's on the atom yield pool, which will get including photons. We'll start getting including in photons quite soon potentially. But stay tuned for announcements on that. The atom boost pool contains the liquidity pool token from there, and so you can see that it's 90% of the assets in the pool in value terms at atom yield, and 10% is the atom token. Let me just figure out how to mute my Telegram. Okay, cool. Hopefully that works. So here you go. You have all of these. These assets in the liquidity pool. So if we go back to the points markets, you can see that if you hold the boost pool, you're going to earn 20 photons a dollar, and that yield we just explained is coming from the underlying assets in the liquidity pool. What was I going to say? So one of the things people were asking was, what affects the actual value of the liquidity pool token? So if we go here, we've seen that the liquidity pool contains P atom, both of these P atoms, and liquid staked atom. So we click here, we can see the price of P atom and the price of C atom that it contains. You can see that, say, over a month, C atom's done 26.79% in return, and P atom's done 16.93% in return. So, but guys, by all means, say if you can't if you can't see on the charts, or you can't see my mouse, and I'll try and zoom in. But so basically, we're looking at that and saying, well, you own a liquidity pool that contains a share or an amount of P atom and an amount of C atom, and you can see that the C atom's been performing better than the P atom. And this is for the Deck 24 maturity. And if I look at the Deck 25 maturity, this difference is bigger. So over the last month, liquid staked atom has outperformed P atom, and the best asset of all, obviously, has been Y atom. The question is, why has Y atom strongly outperformed over this time? And the reason for that is Y atom got added to the photons campaign, increasing the value of Y atom, and as a result, because one Y atom plus one P atom equals one atom, if you increase the value of Y atom, it decreases the value of P atom. So that's why we've kind of like seen these changes, and it normally makes a bigger difference for longer dated maturities. But you can see, because the Y atom from the Deck 24 maturity is actually the cheapest Y atom. That one's been the one that most people have wanted to buy, so that's why this has done 240% in the last month in return, which is kind of astonishing. So that explains, like, inside the liquidity pool you own P atom and C atom. So as a result of the P atoms underperforming C atom, the liquidity pool token has slightly underperformed. Just holding atom. So if we look at the Atom Boost LP token. One of the cool features here is you can compare the performance of this, the LP token, to that. So you can see here, if you've been providing liquidity over the last month, then you've got 20.68% here versus 26.7% on liquid staked Atom. But you've also been receiving photons here. So what does it mean? Like, when's a good time to, going back to our original question here of like these fixed yield tokens and liquidity pool tokens, when's a good time to potentially decide that you might want to buy a fixed yield token or a liquidity pool token? A good time to buy a fixed yield token is when its price has been underperforming, and its yield has gone very high. So you can see here, you can graph this up against the liquid stake token again. You start looking at this and be like, well, okay, that's trading quite cheap now compared to the liquid stake token, maybe at a fixed yield of 155% or 166%. Now could be a good time to buy a fixed yield token. And you know that if you hold it for 49 days, it's going to give you a token worth 1 atom in 49 days. So that's a guaranteed fixed return of 13.63% in those 49 days. Likewise, in a liquidity pool, you know that this token's trading cheap. You know that this token's also trading cheap. And by cheap, I mean a very high fixed yield or a very big discount. And you know this token is highly correlated to Atom, the movements of Atom. So if you buy a liquidity pool token, you're buying a share of a liquidity pool that owns these assets. And you know that 2 of these assets are trading very cheap at the moment at very high yields. So it can be an attractive time to hold these assets. You also know to hold a liquidity pool token. You also know that if you hold a liquidity pool token, you're also earning incentives. So that can make this an attractive one. I'm going to stop there. Does anyone have kind of like any questions on liquidity pool tokens, fixed yield tokens, and when it can be a good time to buy fixed yield tokens or buy liquidity pool tokens? Feel free to chat. Here you go. I just invited you to speak. I think someone just flashed up. That work?
Yeah, it's me. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks. I have a question. So, like, I have staked Atom, right? It's locked, and I saw the tooltip. It says that I can use some sort of liquid version of Atom.
Yes.
Let's say I want to buy the Atom, right? And I don't want to lose the potential airdrops that someone can send me because I'm like staking the Atom. Can you show quickly how can I like transfer or buy some sort of or actually receive some sort of liquid version of my staked Atom to like how can I move it to Pryzm to buy P Atom?
Yeah, of course. So great question. So the one of the cool things that Atom has that none of the other chains have is Atom has something called the liquid staking module, which allows you to transfer over Atom that you have delegated on the Cosmos Hub over to Pryzm instantly. So you can take Atom that you have delegated and mint a liquid stake token instantly. The way to do that on Pryzm is to go here, to go to liquid staking, and then select Atom. And then you click here and you go instantly liquid stake Atom that you have on the Cosmos Hub with 0 unbonding time and no additional fees. So that is one of the cool things that you can do with Atom. So you can instantly move that over and it gives you C atom. And then once you have C atom, you can do everything on Pryzm. You can come here, you can take your C atom and mint P atom and Y atom here. And if you decide that you want to just have the fixed yield, you can sell your Y atom that you get. Or if you decide that you just want to have floating yield, you can sell your P atom. You're also able to just do a swap if you want, and you could just swap your C atom to P atom, or you can swap your C atom to Y atom if you want. So that's it. That's how you can kind of like instantly bring atom over from the Cosmos Hub. We've also got a video on YouTube showing how to do it as well, if that's helpful.
Thanks. And what happens if I lose this like C atom token somehow? Like I just like sell it or something. From the project perspective, like for example, we have like project X that just made a snapshot, and for them, do I have these atoms still, or they will not count my like staked atom for a potential drop because I lost it somehow, and they somehow understand that I lost it? How does it work? Does it make sense, or I just need to rephrase?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So basically, like any project that's doing an airdrop will decide itself who it's gonna do. Like, so for example, when we were doing our airdrop criteria, we decide who we're going to snapshot, which atom stakers we're going to snapshot, whether we're going to snapshot DeFi users on Osmosis or wherever. So it's always up to each project to decide where they airdrop. So some projects might decide to include Y atom, say, in their airdrops, or P atom in their airdrops. Or some projects might still say, oh, no, we're only going to do atom delegated on the Cosmos Hub. There's definitely been a bit of a change recently over the last year or so, or 2 years or so, where projects have kind of wanted to incentivize DeFi users more than maybe just people that are just delegating, because they kind of want projects to come and use them, or want people to come and use their project. But it's entirely at the choice of the project that's doing the airdrop. So they, for example, like we have droplets drop here are doing an airdrop and doing photons. You actually are earning, I don't think you're earning any droplets if you have atom delegated on the Cosmos Hub. If you come here and use it on Pryzm and provide liquidity or hold a yield token, then you're earning droplets. So that's kind of like that's sort of how it works, like completely up to each individual project, basically, if that makes sense.
Okay, just to clarify, so for some project, I'm not eligible for their airdrop because I'm not a native staker anymore. I'm like liquid staker, right? And for some projects, exactly, I am eligible because I'm DeFi staker, something like that, right? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And in the end, I mean, everyone kind of like has to do their own maths on it, but in the end, if you hold an atom token currently on, see if I can add this in. If you hold, that's not working at the moment. If you hold an atom token on the Cosmos Hub at the moment, then you're earning something like 15% yield. Plus, you might end up receiving some extra airdrops, but you sort of should kind of like do the maths. Like, everyone should do the maths themselves and work out like, okay, am I going to, if I stay on the Cosmos Hub and just earn 15%, is the airdrops that I receive and the fact that I'm in liquid going to make up for not taking an opportunity now to earn 155% or 156% here on Pryzm? So that's kind of like the decision people should make about like if they're looking to make the biggest return possible on their atom, is the airdrops that I'm going to receive give me more than 13.5% ROI in 49 days, or an annualized yield of 156%. So that's kind of what I'd say on that, if that makes sense. And obviously you're receiving by using your atom here to either provide liquidity or mint a Y atom and a P atom and stake the Y atom. You're also earning the Pryzm airdrop, which people on the Cosmos Hub aren't at the moment. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, it does. But if I just buy the P atom, I'm not be able to buy the liquidity position, because I should have also a normal atom, right? It means that I should like buy a piece of P atom and have a piece of C atom, or just usual atom, right?
Yeah, so you can what you can do is you can actually just provide liquidity if you want, if you think it's a good time. If you're sort of happy with providing liquidity, I showed the charts there. It's always good to check the charts before, just to see if it looks like a good entry point for providing liquidity. But you can actually just provide liquidity here with some atom. And the other thing you can do here is you can actually just buy the liquidity provider token. So you can say you've minted your atom here, atom boost. Because this is one of the things on Pryzm, like we want people to think about liquidity provider tokens as it's just a normal token that you trade, and they always have been, but lots of DeFi apps don't actually show you the price of your token or how your token's done. So we think you should treat liquidity providers as a normal token. So you can look here and you can see that you can actually just take your C atom and actually just buy the liquidity provider token. And then if you hold this liquidity provider token, you're earning incentives, plus you're also earning that yield that we spoke about earlier, that 67% yield. So it's a super easy way to participate here, is just to buy the liquidity provider token. And you can see here that the price of it is is 2.3 here. It did get down as low as 0.3, so you can kind of like leave a limit order if you want, or you can slowly DCA. If I change the chart to the 30-minute chart, gives you a bit more perspective. So you can kind of see how the price has been moving on these, and then if you want to leave an order to do it slowly, say you've got, start seeing when the price impact comes in. So this is $500. So you want to do 1,000. Say you want to do $5,000 here. The price impact's actually only 0.5%, so it's really small. But say you're a whale and you want to do 54,000, then your price impact is 4.5%. You're actually better here doing a DCA. But we've now got to a stage where the price impact's actually very small for most normal people. So you can do what we said here with your liquid staking and instantly convert your atom into your atom delegated on the Cosmos Hub to liquid staked atom. And then you're able to come here and use that liquid staked atom to buy the liquidity provider token. You can also, as we saw earlier on, you can also mint the liquidity provider token if you want. Say this one, for example, you mint it. My wallet's not connected here, so it's not showing this, but you can mint it here. You also have these options here where you can, this is zero price impact mode, which involves no swapping. And this is actually something that's I think is new to some people. If I provide liquidity here to this pool, I receive a liquidity provider token. if I provide, say, just C atom to the pool, then what happens is I'll provide 10 C atom or 100 C atom, say, and it will take my 100 C atom and it's going to swap 37.36% of them into P atom here and 27.8% of them into P atom here, and then give me a liquidity provider token. And so the pool has kind of remained unchanged in its weights, and I receive a liquidity provider token, and there's some swaps going on in the background. Those swaps have a low price impact, but with C atom here, this is zero price impact mode. What does that mean? That means some of your C atoms actually used to be split into P atom and Y atom, and the same here, split into P atom and Y atom in the right proportions. And then you provide liquidity with the P atom and Y atom that you've just refracted, and this P atom and Y atom that you've refracted, and you're left over with a little bit of Y atom left. So this mode is called zero price impact mode because there's no actual swaps happening. Whereas in this one, if you provide liquidity with just one token, it'll swap it to some of the other tokens, and there's some swaps going on in the background. Does that kind of make sense on kind of your options for providing liquidity? You can either come over here and do it, or you can actually do the swap here.
Yeah, it actually does. So, yeah, thanks.
No worries at all.
I used this like liquidity pool stuff, but I think for me it's better to just buy white token for now. I decided to. But anyway.
No, that makes sense. It's all. When you're, it's basically just any token really in DeFi is backed or unbacked by other assets, or it's just a token in itself. And a liquidity provider token is no different. People. I think just because of the way a lot of DeFi projects present it, people maybe misunderstand what they are, but it's just basically saying you own a share of a liquidity pool, and this is the assets that the liquidity pool contains. And if you add one of the assets to the pool to try and you want to own a share of the pool, then in the background it's going to swap some of your assets so that the pool stays balanced. And actually you can just buy the token itself and hold the token, and you can sort of see the performance of the token. The token here, how the yield LP has done. So that's kind of hopefully explained a bit on yield tokens and on liquidity pool tokens, and how to look at them, when's a good time to potentially buy them, and why liquidity pool tokens have such a high yield associated with them. And why that yield's been getting higher as people have been selling principal tokens, which increases the discount on the principal tokens. So that's that. I'd had a couple of other questions that people had asked me, which I wanted to run through. So first of those we hit on earlier on is like, how do you find discounts? Like, let's look at Atom, Injective, Tier, for example. Let's say just the nearby maturity. So this is what we said earlier on. I can buy one Tier in 49, which I'm going to get in 49 days, and it's only going to cost me 0.94 of a Tier now. So you should think about principal tokens as either a fixed yield token or buying tokens at a discount, like whichever one of those makes more sense to you, because you know that you're spending 0.94 Tier now and you're going to get one Tier in 49 days. And this obviously is a liquid token that can be traded around. As you can see, its price moves around. So it's a not like locked Atom or something that's delegated on the Cosmos Hub. that was kind of like the first question, like how do you actually buy a discount and what happens? You buy this, you can trade it around freely, and in 49 days, you can redeem it for a token worth 1 atom. So that's it. And you can redeem it on the portfolio page here. Next one's like, this kind of like that actually is super simple one. Like the question is like how to refract and merge assets, and what can you do with the P token and Y token after you've refracted them? So the way I kind of like to think about Pryzm is it's like liquid staking, but way better. Like if you liquid stake something now on another project, you receive 1 token in return, which is kind of a receipt token that says you've deposited 1 atom or 1 ETH, and that's being staked. And when you come to redeem your receipt token, we're going to give you back your 1 atom or your 1 ETH plus all the staking rewards that your token has earned in the meantime. That's good, but that doesn't give you the flexibility that Pryzm gives you, where it says, well, come and deposit your atom, we're going to stake it, and we're going to give you 2 tokens. One that represents your 1 atom that you originally deposited, and another token that's going to give you all of the yields that staked atom generates until its maturity. So that's why kind of like Pryzm ends up being a lot more powerful than normal liquid staking. And so here what you can do is you can come here and you can take your tier and you can split it up, refract. You can take your tier and you can split it up. And so you're going to get, 1 P tier and 1 Y tier here. And so basically that's how you split something, and then you can always come back and merge your 1 P and your 1 Y tier. This is C tier, which is actually the liquid stake token. But you can always merge them and get them back together. So this is the lowest risk way to earn photons, because then you can take your P tier and hold it in your wallet or trade it or add it to a liquidity pool. And then you can stake your Y tier and start earning photons. And at any point in time, you can merge them back together here to get back 1 tier, a token worth 1 tier. That's kind of refracting and merging, and why it's basically just like normal liquid staking, except you get 2 tokens instead of 1 token. Does that hopefully that makes sense to people on like what it is. I think that a follow-on question we'd had from that was, why does a yield token have no value at the end? So a yield token has no value at the end because if I say, for example, I deposit $100 into a bank and the interest rate on the bank is $10. I deposit $100 and I receive a P dollar token and a Y dollar token. So I receive 1 token that represents my right to the $100 that I originally deposited, and my yield token gives me the right to the yield that $100 earns over the next year. What does that mean for a yield token? That means that over the course of the year, as that 10% yield is earned, so as that $10 is earned in yield over the next year, that's paid out to me as the yield token holder. And at the end of the 10 years, my yield token's paid me out $10, and I can take my principal token and go and redeem $100 from the bank account. So I net have $110. After maturity, the yield token's paid out all of its yields, so it has no value. But I have received $10 in return. So that's why yield tokens kind of have no value at the end, because you've been receiving yield up until the point of maturity. So that's kind of like on yield tokens. Another question we had, switching gears slightly, is the referral system and kind of how it works. So one of the things we sort of feel quite strongly about is that we want to empower community to educate and onboard other community members. We don't just want to pay-calls and influencers. We want to give those opportunities to community members. So we've come up with a reward scheme here, which is going to give you a 20% bonus on the photons of anyone that you refer. So what you can do here is you can either just generate a normal referral code, or you can use what's called your ITNS name, which is your Twitter name. And then if you connect your wallet, there's a share referral link here. And so that means that if someone comes to Pryzm and says and clicks your referral link, it connects their wallet to your wallet and says, Alice was introduced to Pryzm by James, and so any photons that Alice earns, James is going to get a 20% bonus on Alice's photons. So it can be a really lucrative way if you end up writing good threads or educating people or introducing new people. It can be a great strategy for earning lots of kind of extra photons. And you can kind of actually see on the leaderboard here, there is someone here that has earned 9 million photons, nearly 10 million photons just by referring people. So they've got 10 million photons, a total amount of photons of 11.38 million, and they're going to earn 1.66 million Pryzm tokens as a result of mostly just referring people. So that's kind of shows you the power of doing referrals. So super easy to do here, super easy to generate a referral link or an ICS name, which basically is just like your Twitter name. And then that basically allows you to earn a lot of Pryzm tokens as a result, if that's what you'd like to do. So with that, we had another question, which actually to have more is similar to your ones. Yes, so like, do other protocols and projects airdrop to liquid stake token holders, to liquidity providers? It's the same, or whether you're, as we were saying, it's the same for if you're a liquidity provider on Osmosis, or you hold a principal token on Pryzm, you hold a yield token on Pryzm, or you hold a Stride liquid stake token, or a Quicksilver liquid stake token, or you deposit Atom onto Mars protocol or whatever. It's always completely up to the project that's airdropping to decide who to include in their airdrop snapshots. So I think where we'll have the most success is we need to, as a team and as a community, we need to find exciting new projects that are going to be airdropping tokens, and get into their Discords, get into their Telegrams, chat with the team, and make sure that they are aware that the Pryzm community is a valuable community, and that they should include Pryzm or Pryzm tokens in their airdrop criteria. That's that. Explain the difference between staking and super staking for photons. And so, right, so this is that example we were talking about earlier on. So if I put $100 into a bank account with 10% yield, then over the next year, I'm expecting to receive, I expect to have $110. If I use a yield token or a principal token, then my principal token lets me redeem my $100 at the end of the year, and my yield token will pay me out the $10 over the next year. So if I stake a yield token into Pryzm here, and I just do normal staking, say using that example, then I can stake my yield token here, and I'm going to receive $10 over the next year, plus I'm going to receive some points or some photons. So at the end of the year, your yield token has paid you $10, plus it's paid you 51 photons per dollar. Is it says, well, you can actually swap your future yield for even more photons. So it's like delegating to one of our validators. It means that you can effectively swap that $10 as it gets paid out for a much higher rate of photons. You can withdraw at any time. You can merge back your yield token and your principal token if you want, but this gives you the opportunity to swap your yield token for yield for extra Pryzm tokens. That is that one. One of the ones we get a lot is people wonder about kind of bridging assets to Pryzm and what you can do. So actually super simple. If you click the deposit page here, you can select wherever your tokens are, you know, say Osmosis, and say you've got some Osmo and you want to bring it over to Pryzm and you want to do some Osmo. It's super simple just to do it here, and it's all done in one click. You're going to send 100 Osmo from Osmosis to Pryzm, and have 100 Osmo on Pryzm. So the bridging process is super easy. All of this is powered by Skip. In case anyone doesn't know, Skip have really good things for the interchain, and so that's how you just deposit. It's just IBC is what it's called, the Inter-Blockchain Communication Protocol, and it's super easy for transferring tokens around between connected blockchains. And this takes a matter of seconds to send stuff over. I mean, one of the things that kind of blew my mind actually is something like USDC. You can actually transfer USDC from Avalanche over to Pryzm in one click, which is kind of amazing. Obviously, same from Ethereum. I just pick Avalanche as an example. So you can transfer over, you know, 10,000 USDC, for example, and it's only going to cost you 2 cents to do it. So for USDC, it's this thing is amazing. And then for all other tokens like Injective, for example, or other connected tokens, it's a great way of it is a great way of transferring tokens over here using our deposit. With that, and then one of the other questions we'd had from people was to do with AWU. Like AWU basically is just is our meme token, which is a bit of fun and is a good way of learning how to use Pryzm. It also can be used to pay for gas, and it has a really high yield. And so it has a high yield to exaggerate the kind of things that you can do with it. As you can see here, you know, it has a 666% fixed yield now, which is kind of crazy. And we have included AWU in the Photons campaign at a low Photons amount to start off with, but if there's good interest, we're going to increase that. And what's AWU? It's like any of these other tokens here. We've created an AWU liquid staking derivative called CAWU, which you can do here. You can see there's currently 155,000 wallets holding AWU, market cap 82K. Current APY on just normal staking of AWU is that. Okay, and then and so you can then split your AWU here the same way that you can otherwise. You've seen us do with Atom and P-Atom, and then you can bond or unbond to get liquid staked AWU here, and then you can just trade it and practice buying tokens, big high fixed yields, buying yield tokens, which you can now use to earn photons, or even kind of providing liquidity with AWU. So most people got airdrop the AWU boost pool. If you switch that into the AWU yield pool, you're actually going to end up earning photons as a result. So that's some of the things that you can do with AWU. There's going to be more features as we go, but it's for learning how to use Pryzm and try to grow the amount of AWU that you have. It's a token with potentially unlimited supply. So anyone that talks about it in USDC terms has maybe not understood what the point of it is. So yeah, so that is whistle stop tour of a lot of the kind of like questions that we've been getting answered, or sorry, we've been getting asked. Tell me, we've got a mix of the Pryzm team, which is great, and we've got a mixed community here. Like, has that kind of helped answer some questions for people? Is there any other bits on the web app or kind of strategies that you can do on Pryzm that people have any questions on? We've tried to answer some of the bits that we've seen people mentioning on Telegram or Discord, but if there's any other comments or questions people have, like, definitely let us know.
Cool. Yeah, sorry, it's me again. So I already posted kind of suggestion or something. Let's get back for a bit to staking and super staking. So as far as I understand, we have 2 points programs, right? Photons and drops. And the thing is, as far as I understand, you have one option to earn photons with your YD atoms tokens, or to earn drops. You cannot earn both at the same time, but by the same YD atom token, right?
No, exactly. You can't. We've been trying to talk to the drop team to get that updated, but at the moment it's just it's one or the other with your YD atom. And I think there's kind of, I think the atom TVL at the moment is maybe say $15-16 million farming the DAtom airdrop, and then on Pryzm at the moment you have $1.16 million earning the kind of Pryzm airdrop. So it's kind of weighing up which one's going to give you more bang for your buck on your atom tokens, basically.
It would be nice to be able to earn 2 airdrops at the same time. I guess it will bring more people to Pryzm.
Yeah.
Because in Ethereum world, you can buy YT token on Pendle. It will like earn you a lot of airdrops by the same YT token. Like, it's cool. And the second thing that I posted in suggestion channel, in the same like Ethereum world, they have different calculators. Like, one of them is YT earn.info. It will basically show how many points you will earn if you buy Y token right now. And it would be cool to build something similar on Pryzm, because let's imagine I want to buy YT token, and it's kind of hard to understand how many points I will get in the end. I understand it might not be the like very exact calculation of the points, like just something approximately, which you can calculate like approximately how many points do we get. But for some reason in Pendle world it works. Like if I buy something, I just use this calculator. In the end, I receive approximately the same amount of points they calculated. Just you can check the suggestion channel. Maybe it will work.
I will talk with our team about that, because I think that is a great idea. We're also building a Telegram bot on the team, so maybe we can integrate that so that people can estimate as well, like how many photons and yield they'll earn doing that. that's it. Yeah, I think that's a great suggestion. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you.
Do you have, if you can share links to your favorite calculator, I don't know whether you did already, but if you can share links to your favorite calculators,
Yeah, I did. So I did. So just check suggestion channel. So I tried to share the link, but some bot will not allow me to post the exact link. But yeah, I just you just check the suggestion channel. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, perfect. All right, cool. Thanks very much for coming up and pointing that stuff out and asking questions as well. That's been great. All right, if no one has anything else, then we can kind of wrap it up. I think we want to do these more frequently. The video has been recorded, hopefully, on this, so other people can catch up and watch it. And then if we want to do these more regularly. So if people have topics and stuff that they want to get covered, please do let us know, and we can do that. And hopefully we've kind of covered off some of the basic strategies. And there's, for anyone that's had a play around Pryzm, there's loads of different things that you can do. So we could, next time we can cover things like TWAP and pulse trade and slow trade and some of these other bits. But everyone has the kind of like basic strategies now. So, but feel free to ask us any more questions on those. Cool. All right. Well, in which case I'll hit the red button and end it. Thanks very much, everyone. And yeah, do let us know in the comments if there's, or in general, or suggestions or refractive index if there's any questions. Cheers.